All right. Very good. Well, welcome to the sneak peek of the Carmel retreat. I am Laura Comilla, and I am going to be hosting our call today and hosting this retreat in Carmel. This session is being recorded, so those that have missed the call today but are on the wait list will be able to listen in and hear all about it. I'm going to share the website of the Carmel retreat, and I'm going to use that as a main guide of what's taking place. And at certain points during the retreat, during this call, I will pause so that it gives you an opportunity if you have any questions as I go section by section. So first of all, when I say Carmel, some people call it Carmel-by-the-Sea. Where we are actually staying and residing in is just south of Carmel. It's about 20 minutes south of the city, not even. And it is where we are staying specifically is in the Santa Lucia mountain range, and we're staying pretty much on top of that mountain range. And I'll show you some pictures of what I mean. You would fly into Monterey Airport, which from the location where we're staying at is about 30-35 minutes, again, depending on traffic for this time of year and just in general. But the area is really known for artistry. Like when you go into Carmel, you're going to see one artist shop after another after another. They're very big on artistry, painting, pottery, sculpture. It's known for its hiking and its diverse hiking, which I'm going to try to take you to different hikes so you really see the diversity of this location. And it's also known for its wineries, which of course I've selected a winery for you as well. All right, so let me walk you through this retreat. So first of all, the days are located right here. You see here September 18th to the 22nd. I will talk a little bit more about arrival and departure, so just hang on there, I'll get to that. The rate of the retreat is $3,300. And when people ask me, Laura, how fit do I need to be? Are we like scrambling up mountains? Like, are we doing some of your crazy trail running? And the answer is no. We are going on a casual hike. They usually last 2 to 3 hours long. But in that hike, we have lunch. We stop and take pictures. There's a lot of gabbing going on and discussion. So it's not like we got to power through and get through 6 miles. It is not like that at all. It's very relaxing. So let's take a look at the first day, the itinerary. So as I mentioned, you'll fly into Monterey Airport. Its acronym letters are MRY. You would want to arrive before 1 p.m. on that Thursday, September 18th. I will arrange group transportation for you from this airport. And so we are going to be looking at everybody's flights, but we'll be targeting sometime around 1-2 p.m. then to have the group transportation take you from the airport to the accommodation. So pretty much that first day, you're responsible for breakfast, for lunch, for any snacks. But once you arrive to the retreat location, to where we're residing, we will have some snack laid out for you, and then please plan, we'll have dinner there at the location. Now, all meals are included starting from that point on. So dinner on Thursday, all meals on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, including a to-go breakfast on Monday. We will do throughout every single day a little bit of coaching, meaning self-discovery through prompts, visualization, meditation, and journaling. You will work through your greatness plan. And when I say a greatness plan, I've developed a journal. I should probably take off my background here so you can see it. That works. There we go. So this is the greatness journal. And in this journal, there are multiple pages. We don't use all of them, but we probably use about 2/3 of them. But I give you some additional prompts, especially if a person is like getting stuck on one of the prompts. There's additional support prompts to help you. But the thing that you really walk away with is, first of all, there's this picture that helps you with your purpose. It's called your ikigai. That is a Japanese term for, what's your value? What are you known for? And then we will work through prompts around your priorities. And then how are you going to lay those priorities out in your life? So your greatness plan will end up looking like this, bifold, if you will, in the journal. This is what we refer back to when we have our sharing circles or accountability circles after the retreat. It's not that, the retreat and the opportunity there after the retreat is all about you achieving your greatness. And we all will fall off, I call it the bandwagon, at some time or time frame of what we're trying to achieve. And we want to encourage you to get back on as long as that's still your pathway of greatness and nothing has changed. And so that's the purpose of creating community at these retreats, is that you build this bond and you trust each other and you truly check in with each other. Tasha, at one of our retreats, she's a project manager at a large, Fortune 500 company, but she has aspirations of owning her own bee farm and lavender farm. This was just mentioned as of April of 2024, and she so far has gotten the land, gotten the lavender, and is learning how to be, I think it's called aviary, to learn how to care for bees. So she's already on her pathway, and she just keeps giving us stories after stories of how she's heading in her direction of greatness. So that's the plan that we walk through. So each day we do a bit of the curriculum working towards your greatness. And so day 1 is a visualization. Day 2 is around your priorities. Day 3 is mapping these priorities out. And day 4 is about accountability. But in between all of that is where we also have a lot of fun and greatness on the retreat. So day 1, we typically don't go hiking, but where we are at, we are literally amongst miles and miles of hiking ground. So it is very likely some of us may want to take an optional hike, and that'll be very much possible, and I'll arrange that right there on the property. Day 2, we start with breakfast in the morning. Our culinary chef will create a breakfast. Typically, the chefs I've hired have created kind of a buffet bar of something warm like a frittata or boiled eggs, some kind of protein, maybe some type of a meat, sausage, bacon, this type of thing. And then they also add some type of bakery, whether it's muffins they've baked, sourdough bread they've either made themselves or picked up. And then there's all these lovely homemade butters and jams. But they also then do like a yogurt bar. So they really try to lay out a variety that is kind of coming out every single day as your breakfast bar, with maybe the hot item of eggs kind of changing as far as what type of egg is served. We accommodate all types of dietary needs, and we then get a survey from you as far as like an intake survey as far as what you might need for a dietary reason. So after breakfast, we head out on a hike, again, 2 to 3 hours on the hike. And then, as I mentioned before, we'll have our lunch there on the trailhead. Just, timing wise, I never give an exact time. I just kind of read the group, especially for those who have traveled long distances to be there. They might be on a little bit different time clock. So I do try to accommodate for everybody, and I myself bring some snacks for people as well. When we get back, again, just reading the room, we will either do a little bit of curriculum or some downtime. And then before dinner, we'll add another second element of the curriculum. And then I usually like to end day 1 with some yin yoga, set up some candles, and really just do some stretching. This isn't like a vinyasa, very difficult. I find even my fittest people, when we hike, especially in areas we're not as acclimated to, we get a little sore in the lower bun area. And it's just nice to get that extra stretch. Day 3 is much like day 2. We will get up, we will have our breakfast, and then typically on, day 3, we typically, after breakfast, we'll do some of our curriculum on our priorities and starting to map it out, like on that large sheet that I showed you. We then will head out to Point Lobos Park, and this one is a little bit longer of a hike, but it's very flat. And you're going to be literally going along the coastline, seeing hopefully sea lions. You're going to be along the surf. And then we'll get back into the car or into the van, and we will head to our winery that day. And Folktale Winery has been fantastic. I've been working with them. on where we will sit. During this time, I will cover your wine tasting, but they do make some unbelievable pizzas. So if you're like, hey, let's all share a pizza, that'll be also an opportunity for you to order. So they do also have food at this vineyard. What's also great is on Saturday when we will be there, they have a local band. Every Saturday they have a local band. And so I'm coordinating our time so we can definitely enjoy some local culture while we enjoy some local vintage. We will come back, have some downtime, work through then our greatness plan, whether before or after dinner. Again, I just read the room, decide what works best for the room. And then we'll do dinner and kind of end our day on day 3. Day 4. Now, the way the hikes typically work is I start with our hardest hike first and then kind of taper on down. So day 4 will be one of our shorter hikes in Garapata, I think how you say it, State Park. But specifically in this canyon area, we'll be hiking. And so this will start at the sea and then we hike away from the sea. So this is where you're going to see your redwoods, you're going to see some prairie, and it's going to be pretty much an out and back hike. Again, we'll eat on the trail, but what I'm trying to do on this day is coordinate it so that when we're done, we can head into the city of Carmel and give people an option, about 2 hours worth. Do you want to go shopping or would you like to have a spa? And I'll help to then coordinate that for us if you guys wanted a spa. We will come back then and wrap up that day with our final 4th element of our curriculum, which is accountability. And so I have 10 of my favorite accountability tips. I walk through those with you, and you decide which accountability tip sticks with which priority best. And then we also do an art project. So I like to weave art into these retreats. Art really helps you to take a step back from whatever is in front of you, whether it's the greatness plan or whether it's work or whether it's personal life. And you really can turn off all of those other thoughts and just stay focused on what you're building or creating in art. So I typically do at least 1, if not 2, art projects that are woven in. And sometimes the art projects are actually done on the trail, which is pretty cool. So I will end the session though with an art project, and I'm also looking at doing an evening, a sunset ceremony as well, because when you see where we're located, the sunset is to die for. So that will be then the end of day 4. And again, hike, maybe a spa, maybe shopping. That'll be up to you, your choice. We'll do the ending of our curriculum, and then we'll have our craft and closing ceremony. On day 5, the departure is pretty much a grab and go kind of a day. Most people, I ask that they set up their flights to leave in the morning, not 6 a.m., but morning-ish, or right around the, like 11, 12 o'clock time frame. And again, we'll have group transportation to go to the airport. And that means then in the morning, most people are kind of rushed. So I ask that the chef always creates just a grab go kind of a breakfast. Last year in October in Oregon, we had these lovely acai, no, not acai. What are those things called? Seeds. It'll come to me now. Chai seed, like yogurt pudding type of thing with some fruit on top. It was so lovely. And we just had those to go. And then she also made some bran muffins if you wanted to take that too. So real easy to take with you, eat if and when you get hungry, up to obviously the point of getting to the airport in case there's liquid involved and what you can carry on. So that covers the 5 days of what we will be doing from an itinerary standpoint. Let me pause here before I show you some pictures and screen grabs of the VRBO if you have any questions regarding, just in general, the itinerary of this retreat.
Do you have to do the accountability part?
You do not. You don't have to do any part of the curriculum. You don't have to do. You don't even have to do the hikes. So the curriculum
would be fun though.
Yeah, but the curriculum is laid out like it's personal. And so while I like the group to share their thought process or what they saw, let's say in their visualization, just because I find that group really helps bring along everybody in their discovery process, it's also a personal process. So if a person doesn't want to share, there's no shaming. And if a person's like, I don't really want to do this part of the curriculum, there's no requirement to have your butt in the seats at this time. That's all flexible.
Got it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, let's have a sneak peek into the location. So this is the property view of our, let's just call it retreat center, but it is a luxury home with a beautiful view. So this is the aerial shot of where we're looking, and there are two bridges in which you will be able to see from this property. One of them you can see obviously from here. I believe this is the Bigsby Bridge, but I could be wrong, so I thought Bigsby Bridge is a little smaller. But you're seeing Big Sur, you're seeing literally the Pacific Ocean from the top, and you can see there are trails on the property, but there are also, this property is about 70 acres, and adjacent to it is about another 300 acres in which we have access to hike in. So we don't have to go and leave the property if people are like, let's just do the hike here. I don't want to do day 3's hike. Let's just stay here. If the group wants to do that, we're very flexible. What you notice here is on the walk down are to some of these chairs that you can see now here in the picture. So this would be where we do our sunset ceremony. And we do have the option, as long as bugs aren't a problem and the weather is good, we do have the option of even doing our yin yoga that first evening or second evening out here as well, if we choose. But if anything else, beautiful place to just have a coffee and enjoy the sea, or have a glass of wine and enjoy the sunset. This is the inside area, the living area of the space. A very open, floor plan with beautiful view, again, of the ocean front. Two lovely seating areas for us to do curriculum in. And, for fun, we might change around where we sit each day just so that we get another vantage point of this beautiful property. This is a closer shot of this living area on the left that you just saw in the previous picture. And then here's their kitchen area where our private chef will work. And when standing in this kitchen, if you turn to your right, you will then see this picture. So if you're standing by those seats and you turn to your right, this is the table where we'll be having our meals as a community. And then again, if you're sitting at this table and you look straight ahead, then you're seeing that living room area and looking out into the sea. Here's a photo of one of the bedrooms that is in the main house. So I say that because there are bedrooms throughout this property. Here is one of the outdoor spaces in which we would enjoy if we choose to. And this outdoor space is closest to the house. There are other outdoor spaces closer to some of the other compounds and buildings on the property. This is one of the other facilities on the property. This is the barn that actually, it's got a whole story behind it, but it's a barn, if I recall, from Ohio, that literally piece by piece was brought over. So it's considered an antique on the property, but obviously restored inside to be very, not retro, but I would say comforting in its style. The loft does have one bedroom in it. It's up in the loft area, but otherwise the main floor is completely open and more for community, activities. So this might be one of the places we consider to move the furniture back and do yin yoga, or just work on curriculum as a group in here, or just play a game of pool as well. This is the outside of the barn. That's what we were just looking at. And this is the outdoor, seating area here, different than the one that I showed you earlier by the house. There is a studio on the property, and in the studio, there is also a bed and bedroom. This is the outside of the studio. And then finally, there is a guest house also on the property with sleeping arrangements in the guest house. This is the guest house bedroom. And then finally, just to give you kind of a lay of the land from a map standpoint, what are we seeing? What are we doing? So flying into Monterey, the place where we are at is just south of this canyon trail. So if you will, down here where my cursor is at. So when we go hiking, here's one of the hikes, Point Lobos State Park. Here's the third hike we would do in this canyon. And then the Folktale Winery is also here. I put on the map also Garland Ranch Regional Park because it's another park area. I really read the weather, the mood, the temperament of the group just to determine which exact hike we go on, just to make sure everybody has a pleasant and enjoyable time. Yeah, the only other reason I showed this map is if somebody flies into San Jose, it is a bit of a little trek to get then to Monterey. So we would just have to coordinate transportation. And then finally, the dates are again September 18th to the 22nd. I am going to go back to the website, and when I do, just want to see if there's any questions that I can answer again at this point.
That's so beautiful. Is it possible to explain how people pick the rooms or what the process is?
Yeah, so room selection really is based on first come, first serve. So when people sign up, they're signing up to have a shared room unless they sign up for the single rate. Once they do that, then I pretty much can tell you the rooms that are best suited for singles. So this is the studio, this is the uh, loft, this is the guest house. These have single beds. Those would be the ones more suited. And so once you've signed on, I then would show you this and you would select which room. And so there's more pictures then, and you can select the room that best suits you and your style. And so that's kind of how the room selection works. In addition, being on the wait list, it also gives you obviously that first come, first serve, because you would get the first pick of these rooms before anybody else does. So that's congratulations, Carolyn, on being on the wait list, because that's one of the perks. Does that answer your question completely?
Yeah. Well, some of the doubles had such beautiful views too. Do most of the rooms have a beautiful view?
Some of the views, so one room has a view, two rooms have a view of the sea. Other rooms have view of the mountains and the trees, etc. So everybody has a very natural view. It just depends on what you're looking at in the nature.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah. So then let's just go through a little bit of some trip details, kind of what is not in this retreat. So on this page or on this section of the page talks about what's included. And so I've already mentioned group transportation's included. Some of the hikes require fees. I take care of all of that. Any driver gratuity, anything with the winery that is part of your wine tasting and sampling, I take care of along with the gratuity. Your chef and your chef's gratuity, I take care of that. I've had women that choose to give some extra to the chef, but please know that I give standard percentage rates as well in their gratuity. As mentioned, all meals are included, accommodation, and then everything from a life coaching. So what's not included? Your airfare, obviously transportation from your home to your specific airport to get to Carmel. The spa, if you choose to do a spa in your 2 hours of time, or if you choose to go shopping, that's on your dime. Alcoholic beverages. So when you're at the vineyard or even beforehand, I sometimes stop at a bottle shop, or you may even see some alcohol in the Monterey airport. That would be something that would be on your expense. And then, of course, any bug spray, sunscreen, all of that. I do usually carry some, but certainly not for everybody if we need tons of it. And then I'll send out a packing list, very detailed as to what I'm packing, which will go into more detail than the list I'm going to show you here. This just gives you some general ideas of what you should pack for Carmel at this time of year. But I will get, when we're much closer, I send out a much more detailed one that everybody said was exactly what they used to pack. I'm packing X amount, just like Laura did for every single day. So I send that out as well. As a sneak peek into this time frame, late September, the weather is usually in the mid to high 60s, could get up into the 70s. When we get out towards the vineyard, it'll be warmer because we're in Carmel Valley. But when we get towards the sea, it's going to be cooler, especially with the spray of the sea. So we will definitely remind you to pack in layers. But rainfall is a small chance, 5% chance. And then payment and forms that's listed here as far as payment and dates for payment. And then I have 2 waivers in which I send you. One is for video, testimonial and photos that I can include you in them. And then the other one is a waiver mostly for safety. I already mentioned where to travel and the details, but I'll be in touch with you as you get closer to the travel date. And then just to let you know, I am first aid certified, including wilderness survival. And in this, you can't see it, but it's a very big orange backpack. Not only do I carry your lunch, do I carry your snacks, do I carry 2 poles, I carry also a very large first aid kit, just in case of anything shall happen. As I mentioned earlier, this activity level stays below, well, it's casual hiking. So even if it is going up and down in elevation, we will take our time, we will take photos, we will chat with each other. And so I always recommend you should be able to hike or walk in your neighborhood for 30 minutes, 3 times a week, and feel very easy. This is easy for me to do. And that I would say you're in a fit shape to be able to come on this retreat. As we get closer, I'm in the process, I've narrowed it down to the final 2 chefs. And so as I get closer, we will post the menu here. But right now, this is just a sample menu so you can see what past retreats that we offered. And as I mentioned, we do all accommodations for any dietary or just appreciative requirements and needs. I've already spoken about our accommodations, and I think that covers what I needed to show here. So let me then move into who's this intended for? So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. And if in your head you're answering yes to these questions, maybe not all, but a lot of them, this retreat's for you. So question 1, are you completing a checklist and all these to-dos are leaving you unfulfilled? And question 2, have you given a lot of your time to your kids, to your spouse, to your community, and you really haven't made any time for your activities, for your hobbies? Or maybe you don't even know what is your hobbies and you feel a little unbalanced. Question 3, are you seeking a group to collaborate with and to share? Basically a community. A community is so important on these retreats that you will leave with new colleagues or even people you call friends. Question 4, have you been wanting someone else to plan a little mini vacation for you? Or maybe you haven't even traveled in a while. I know some folks haven't traveled quite a bit since COVID. So is having somebody plan a little mini vacation sound good to you? Do you enjoy the outdoors and in adventures, but maybe you haven't been on one recently? Would you like 4 days of peace and quiet to do a bit of self-discovery without daily distractions? Do you have goals and plans, but maybe lack a little bit of accountability to actually follow through on them? Question 8, that was 7. Question 8, can you clear your calendar for September 18th to the 21st? Even if you usually have a very full, busy calendar, can someone in your family or support network help you so you can be here? Question 9, do you want to reprioritize things and make some changes, refocus on what's really important in your life and actually see the outcome? Question 10, do you want to learn more about yourself? This is where the visualization is really cool that we do on the retreat. And last, question 11. This is the bonus question. Do you want to just hang with me? I love doing great things and living life loud. I have a loud laugh. I love to bring along and make sure everybody feels included. When you look at my track record, I've done big things in my life. And it was because I've applied these tools and the curriculum that I've developed that has helped me be successful that I would love to also give you. So if you love hanging with me, then this retreat is for you. If you answered yes to a lot of these questions, then this retreat is for you. So for this investment in yourself, what will you walk away with? Let me tell you, there's quite a bit you're going to walk away with. You're going to walk away with your purpose, your greatness plan, an accountability plan, a community that supports you, new friends, a new take on your life, or just reprioritize things so it feels like a new take on life. Great memories and photos, and unbelievable recipes as well. For this investment, $3,300, it will change the way you operate in your life. If you sign up before midnight on Friday, June the 6th, Central Standard Time, I will also include for you a plain voucher up to $150 of value. Again, I'll repeat that. What that means is a $500 deposit by June the 6th, midnight Central Standard Time. And with that, that not only secures your spot, but also a 150 airplane voucher. Are there any questions, or more so, any obstacles for you to work around so that you can attend this retreat? I do hope you can join, and I would love to see you there. If you have any questions, feel free to ask now, or you're also welcome to message me or text me, because I know some people have personal questions. That's also completely fine. So I'll pause here and see if there are any other questions regarding this retreat.
I have a question. When is the rest of the fee due after the 500? Is there a payment plan?
Yep. There is, looking on the website. So cancellation can be made on or before July the 1st. But it's July the 1st is the date that we're looking for the rest of the money. So it's kind of like July 1st, your cutoff.
Okay, great. Do you offer, though, a payment plan? Have you thought of that?
We can talk about that, Carolyn, offline. I don't have it prescribed on the webpage, but yes, we can talk about a payment plan.
Okay, great, thanks.
You're super welcome. All right, well, if there aren't any other questions, I'm going to send out a summary email tonight about the call. I'll give the link also to this call, as well as just a couple of brief highlights on the retreat, and then also about the $150 voucher and the time frame for that. If there aren't any other questions, we will conclude the call at this time. Thanks for joining. Bye, Carolyn.
Oh, sorry.